Hi, I'm Nick Herbert, and I'll be giving a speech today over the airplanes in the military. As an overview for this speech, I'll be going over the three main types of aircraft in the U.S. Air Force and what their roles are in the U.S. Air Force. Everyone has heard of fighter jets, but may not be sure the exact role that they play in the military. Fighter jets are one of the most widely used planes in the U.S. Air Force. They were first seen in World War II with the title fighter, but air-to-air combat was seen as early as World War I. World War I saw the first dogfights or aerial combat between two or more aircraft, and dogfight is a term that they use between two aircraft fighting in midair, shooting, stuff like that. Although there were not fighters until the late 1940s, there were prop planes and patrol aircraft like the P-51. When you watch any World War II movies, you might see or hear about the P-51 with the propeller in front of it that did the same thing as fight other aircraft, although it didn't have the name fighter until the invention of the jet engine, but they had the same role. The primary role of fighters is destroying enemy aircraft in air-to-air combat. The main fighter jets used in the U.S. Air Force today are the F-22 Raptor, the F-16 Falcon, and the F-35. The F in front of the numbers that I just listed signifies that it is a fighter jet. It's easy to know. Similar to fighters, bombers carry weapons, but they use them at high altitudes. Bombers are normally larger, heavier, and less maneuverable than fighter aircraft, so they are used almost exclusively for ground attacks and not fast or agile enough to take on enemy fighters head-to-head. The first bombers were used in World War I. The first bomber was just a normal airplane that soldiers threw grenades out of, so it flew low enough to the ground that you could shoot at it, and a grenade would explode by the time it hit the ground. Bombers didn't come what we know today until World War II, when we started using larger scale aircraft at higher altitudes and bigger payloads. For example, the nuclear bombs that hit Nagasaki and Hiroshima were from bomber aircraft. Bombers today are not as widely used due to missiles, but can still be used as a show of force. For example, in North Korea, instead of bombing them, we might fly some bomber aircraft over their country to show that we understand what they're doing, and we shouldn't do that. They shouldn't do that. There are three main bombers used in the U.S. today: the B-1, the B-2, and the B-52. The B-52 is the only plane in the U.S. Air Force that carries nuclear bombs, and it is 62 years old. Cargo planes deliver payloads just like bombers, but the cargo they carry is to support whatever mission they are on. Cargo aircraft are primarily used to transport troops and or war supplies. They can be easily loaded, secured for flight, and then quickly unloaded for delivery. This is done by putting them on pallets, and then the plane flies, and it will open the rear door, and then be pushed out of the plane, and with parachutes the cargo will land safely to its drop point. Or the plane might land and actually a cargo be unloaded if there are soldiers. Cargo aircraft is considered a non-combat plane and is used to transport troops or other materials. Cargo planes are usually bigger than most other planes and have a longer flying distance, so they can go longer without refueling, and they can have more stuff on it. Common cargo planes in the U.S. Air Force are the C-17, the C-5, the AC-130, and the KC-135. Again, C in front of the number signifies that it's a cargo plane. In conclusion, there are three main categories of planes used in the U.S. Air Force. These categories are bombers, fighters, and cargo planes, but there are many other types of planes in the U.S. Air Force as well. If you learn one thing today, it's that planes are awesome for three reasons. 1, they spread freedom, which is awesome. 2, they're really fast. And 3, they make explosions, and everyone loves explosions.